Hey guys, my name's Hunter Dean. I'm the Senior Vice President of Production Operations and Research Development here at Asea. We're going to take you guys on a little behind the scenes tour today. Okay, this is our product development labs. Asea maintains staff in-house to develop all of our products. Again, we're going to go into the manufacturing room here and show you guys how the product's made. There we go. First step in the process here is the reverse osmosis unit. This is a big high-tech filter for our water. It's removing any of the minerals, metals, or organics that we don't want in the product that could ruin the stabilization process of the redox signaling molecules. After this system, it goes into these big tanks here. These big tanks glow because we have UV light that treats the water. That removes or eliminates any potential for bacteria growth. Have you guys follow me here. After the UV treatment, the water passes through this system here. This system is a deionization system. That further purifies the water. So all of the water and all of the ingredients that we use have to be of the highest purity possible. And so this helps us to achieve a really high purity of water to use in our process here. And that system will do about 200 gallons. We're doing about 5 or 6 batches of Asea per week. We do a lot of products. We need a high output, high purity system. Once the water has passed through this system here, it's going to go into these small tanks, EPU 1 through 4. These are called electrolysis processing units. This is where the redox signaling molecules are made. They then are transferred into this middle tank where we do a pH adjustment, and then we finally dilute to 4,000 gallons per batch. Once the product has been diluted and mixed in these large tanks, our quality team will pull samples, test those samples internally, and then send the samples out for third-party testing. Once those tests come back and they match and pass, the product will be transferred to the holding tanks down there and wait for packaging. Okay guys, so we're going to go into the fill room now, show you some of the equipment used to fill the bottles. You guys will see the bottles coming in there from the hopper. On this bottomless conveyor here onto the table. The table will feed the bottles into the fill station. This filler is a 6-head filler that's capable of filling bottles at about 50 bottles per minute. You can see the water is being pulled from that hopper there on this overhead line. That overhead line is connected to those storage tanks that we talked about a little bit ago. Once these bottles are filled, they'll go through this system here and they'll get their cap. You guys can see the caps flowing down right there. Those bottles come through a photo gate that checks to make sure that that cap is tight. It comes along this bottomless conveyor where we print the lot code and the expiration date on the bottom of the bottle. The bottle then goes on the conveyor through the corkscrew timer where it will get its sleeve. And that's the last step before it leaves the fill room for packaging. Alrighty guys, so you see the bottles coming there with the sleeves out from the fill room. They're going through this steam tunnel right here that's going to shrink the shrink wrap around the outside of the bottle. You can see it right here coming out of the steam tunnel. That shrink wrap's now tight. They'll go through these blowers that blow off any of the condensed steam. And then we do a final shrink. This is a heater that will shrink up that neck really tight to make sure that it works as the safety seal for the packaging. The bottle's going to then come down the conveyor here, past our box erector. These fine people here are filling the boxes. How you guys doing? Good, good, good. Right here, what she's doing is she's checking every bottle for a lot code and for an expiration date, as well as making sure that the product is in the bottle. So every single bottle is inspected by hand before it's put into the boxes. Once it's in the box, we'll put the insert appropriate for the country. It'll go through a taper. Those boxes will get taped, and then they come down this roller conveyor into this big machine called our palletizer. So this palletizer here will build individual rows of boxes. It'll raise that row up and place it onto the next level for our pallet, and then we'll shrink wrap it as it goes. Once it's done, it'll kick it out, and our warehouse staff will be able to pick that pallet up and get it ready for shipment.